came upon the work of Dr. Edythe Heus for Revolution in Motion?
I was introduced to Revolution in Motion through a dear friend of mine who had been training with her for years. And it came into my life at the perfect time because I was probably about 31 years old, and I was still competing quite a bit in tennis, both for fun and on kind of a semi-professional level. And my feet were in extreme pain. And someone had recommended orthotics, which I knew were not the right answer deep down, but I was really at a loss for how to continue to put my feet into a tennis shoe and still, at that time I would have said slam around in my shoes on the tennis court. And so with Revolution in Motion, I immediately knew I was on the right track because my feet started to change and respond immediately. And not only was I out of pain, but systematically her program started to address and heal injuries going all the way back to probably when I was like 10 or 15 years old. So I fell in love with the program, and I found that not only did it heal my feet, but everything improved from my coordination in running, my recovery time, and this quality of effortlessness that I think all athletes are looking for, that I had and still am in pursuit of when playing. I think that's what makes any sport, it's one aspect that makes it very beautiful, and I felt like with Edythe's Revolution in Motion program, I was finally being given the key to how to find that effortlessness in myself and how to take that into my life when exerting myself at really high levels.
Okay. And how do you feel that Revolution in Motion compares with other modalities that are supposed to improve tennis performance?
I think Revolution in Motion is so unique. Each exercise requires you to be present, and you're challenging your body, your balance, your strength, and your neurological system at the same time. And prior to Revolution in Motion, I used to say to my clients, tennis is like yoga on the run. Like, you sprint, and then you're supposed to find this ideal balance, and then there's this big exertion when you hit the shot, then you're back sprinting again. And I found that Edythe's program brings all the systems together that are working: strength, balance, coordination, all of these things. And it does it without you mentally having to grasp it, meaning your body gets smarter and smarter and starts to let go of excess effort on a neurological level. And so you don't really have to even be engaged in trying to understand what's happening. Your body is getting it. And secondly, for me, because I had been plagued with so many injuries as a junior player in college tennis, I was often nursing an injury or completely out of the game for an injury. I've been doing Revolution in Motion now for 6 years. I don't think I've had a single injury that's taken me out of the sport at all. And one of the greatest things about the program is not only do certain exercises really translate well to certain shots on the court, but it enables you to diagnose injuries before they happen and correct those imbalances as you're getting stronger. So that in other modalities or other training programs, I used to be getting stronger and then get an injury and then stop and have to take time off, and then I felt like I was getting weaker, and then I'd do some rehabilitation, and then I would come back. And it kind of felt like, for me anyway, like 3 steps forward, 3 steps back. And what I love about Revolution in Motion is that while I'm getting stronger, I'm simultaneously preventing injuries. And so for me, that's the biggest peace of mind, that I don't have to go and do 3 or 4 different types of training. Like, I'm going to go get stronger over here, but now I'm tight, and I have to run over here and work on my flexibility.
Yeah.
And so I just love that it addresses all those things at once.
Okay. And you also mentioned you've been teaching Revolution in Motion, and you also teach tennis. How do you see Revolution in Motion helping your students' game?
I think that for the older players that I teach, so I would just say over 30, I see that Revolution in Motion immediately diagnoses their injuries, and they immediately get it, where their imbalance is. I think that for adults who are used to working really hard at tennis, working hard to get power, I kind of do this because they're used to using their upper body and their Shoulders, it immediately cues them in onto other sources of power, being in their feet or the deeper abdominal muscles. And so I see that light bulb go off, and I see that they begin their path of discovering a more effortless way to play tennis. I definitely incorporate that in with how I teach tennis, so these two things have become woven together. And I think with younger kids, when I bring out the Revolution in Motion equipment onto the court, they're just immediately engaged, they're immediately playful, they're very exploratory, and I've found that a lot of the children that I teach will get on the BOSU or get on one of the tools that Edythe uses in her program, and they immediately and kind of intuitively start doing an exercise that is very close to what Edythe teaches. So I feel like Revolution in Motion is perfect for kids because they're improving without realizing it. They think they're playing, and they are, but they're actually working on their balance and coordination, which is really important as they're growing. A lot of them are quite weak in their postural muscles and things like that. And then for the adults, I think it is playful, but it also helps them see where their weaknesses and imbalances are that they can't really access in a weight room or in some of the more traditional modalities for training.